Acapulco, Mexico. This is Anarchast.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. And I'm here with returning guest, Avi Esther, who I interviewed exactly almost 1 year ago today in Cancun when I was at the Satoshi Roundtable, which I'm not attending this year because Anarchapulco is going crazy.
Nuts.
And you are, this year, for the first time, I guess your title is Production Princess.
Yeah.
And as you know, and you just showed up, you're like, we are frazzled, I'm frazzled, we're still a couple weeks away from the event, but so much is going on. And it's going nuts. And we haven't even, I don't think we've even told anyone what's going on with the Health and Wellness Conference, which is before Anarchapulco. There's so much going on. February 12th to 14th.
Yeah.
And I've just heard about what you've been adding. And so I want to hear all about it. And actually, I might attend many of them.
Good.
I'm so into all this stuff. You saw my stones there in the water, and I've got all kinds of crystals and you saw my herbs.
On your
I've got MMS.
table.
Yeah. If anyone knows what that is,
it's miracle mineral solution. I could tell you all about that, but we.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
What's that there?
This
essential oil for your diffuser.
Yeah, I got my frankincense.
Oh, frankincense! Dope. Love frankincense.
Yeah, I'm all hippied out over here.
Yay.
So, Anarchapulco alone, which is sold out, by the way. If you do want to, you can actually, if you want to, you can still come down. There's so many people still coming down. Actually, hotels all around the Princess Hotel are starting to fill up with people who can't even get a ticket, but just want to be around the event and maybe come to the Health and Wellness Conference.
We do have tickets for the Health and Wellness Conference, and so we're not completely sold out there. I think we have like another 200 tickets left.
And that's because we haven't told anyone anything about it. We've been so busy. But as I mentioned, I've heard what you're doing. I want to get into all the stuff because you just mentioned a few things I had no idea about. I saw you WhatsApp the other day, and I was like, well, I didn't even know we're doing Kambo and all that, And when I saw it all, I was like, I'm going to try to do a bunch of these things. It's, so convenient for me here. I'm into a lot of these things, and I think I'm actually ready for some of these things again. I've been kind of out of that sort of loop a little bit. So I did Kambo like a year ago. I did Ayahuasca a couple years ago, twice. Iboga about 2 years ago. All that kind of stuff. I did DMT a couple years ago, but I haven't really done too much lately. But I think I'm kind of ready for another kind of reboot of the whole system.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, it's really so. I don't know if you know this or not, but I've been in the health and wellness industry as a practitioner for over a decade now. The number keeps going up. I kind of cringe now when I say it. And so when I was invited to come on board to help with the production, and I looked at the health and wellness retreat, there was like 4 people. I was like, right, and I sort of just put it out there to my network to see.
And just briefly, so I think Nathan came up with the idea along with his wife Lisa originally, but he's so busy, so I think he just kind of started it, and then he was like, we're kind of, and so I think that was a big part of why he initially talked to you, right, is to help, for you initially to help sort of build that health and wellness.
Well, actually, when I met Nathan at Anarchapulco 2016, Max Egan, or Egan?
I say Egan.
Max Egan, introduced me to Nathan by, hey, Nathan, you got to meet Avi. She could do what you're doing, but probably better. And I kind of went, that's the most awkward introduction ever. So this year, when I came to visit in October, Nathan said, hey, do you remember how we were introduced? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, how do you feel about taking that on? And I sat with it and, thinking there was going to be 700, we'd maybe get to 1,000 people, said, okay, sure, yeah, I can do that. I've run events for, since 2012. Before then, but in a different capacity, more entertainment before 2012. But since 2012, I've been running health, wellness, and sort of paradigm-shifting type conferences, symposiums, dance parties that are sober. I kind of went, okay. And then the next thing we knew, within 3 weeks of me saying okay, we hit, 1,200 ticket sales. And just, it's like one event after the next event after the next event that just keeps getting bigger and better and more amazing. And so with that, within the health and wellness thing, so we were WhatsApping the other night about the 14th. We're kind of going to start from the opposite end and work our way toward the front, yeah. So on the 14th, I've got Siddhartha Silencio coming, and he is the only PhD Sitar player in all of Mexico, in all of Latin America is what he claims, because he went to India and studied classical sitar. And so he goes to all of the different festivals, and he jams. Like, if you go check him out, you'll see like all these pictures of him on stage with his sitar and a DJ and like dancers doing ridiculous backbends and things like that to a crowd of thousands of people. So he's amazing. And so he's coming, and he was just going to end the health and wellness retreat, but that's now become the beginning of the main event of Anarchapulco. And the whole intention for bringing him was we, and I include myself in that, like to party.
I've been known to enjoy that.
And when I say we, not just you and I, but like at Anarchapulco,
oh yes,
we
no,
party.
it's definitely a big party.
It's a big party. And so it's like, well, what would happen if we introduced that we could have that party without needing the alcohol? What would it be like to like get those icebreakers? Because that's what alcohol does. It sort of lubricates our senses a bit so that we're more free to say whatever we want. Well, what if we could get there without the alcohol and to begin to introduce this aspect of health, that we can have the party without hurting our bodies? And that being said, I do like my alcohol. I mean, maybe not as much as some, but, you know, I enjoy a drink every now and again. So that's incredible. And bringing ecstatic dance, which is a whole movement within the health and wellness, to Acapulco and to this community, I'm very excited about. And not just because of all the super hot chicks that are coming to dance.
Oh, I didn't even know about this part. Now you've got my interest.
Well, have you seen the health and wellness page?
No, I haven't even seen it.
So everybody listen. If you go to anarchapulco.com and you look at the main speakers, you will see a sausage fest. I'm sorry, but it is a sausage fest. And actually, Nathan and I were talking last year. I'm like, we got to do something about the sausage fest thing. And so.
Wait, you don't like sausage?
No.
No?
Maybe like bean sausage with like vegetables, like mushrooms and.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Vegetarian sausages, not crushed up animals. So if you go to the health,
sausage fest.
Yeah, so if you go to the health and wellness page, you'll go and you'll see that it's predominantly women.
Oh.
So we've got yoga teachers. We do it. So we've got yoga teachers and dance therapists and acro yoga and Dr. Alex Purdy, who she was an ER physician and then just sort of had this moment of enlightenment and decided to move away from Western medicine and move into more traditional styles of medicine. So she's the one who's leading the Kambo, and she's beautiful. Look at her. She's stunning. And there's Siddhartha and Shannon, who's doing her specialty is yoga therapy, so using yoga to heal from trauma. We've got Tantra teachers, because both Serene and Alex both do Tantra.
What is Tantra, briefly?
So Tantra, there's two basic modern schools of Tantra. One is more sexuality based, meaning that it's solely focused on your sexual energy and then how your sexual energy integrates with the rest of you. And then the other is basically looking at all of you, inclusive of your sexual energy. And so when you start with understanding the energy bodies, or the energy centers within your energy body, you are looking at the root, and the root is down by your perineum. And connecting your roots, how you walk on this earth, and how you were as a child, to your sexuality, which is the next center up, the next energy center. And then connecting that together so that your roots and your body are connected to your sexuality, are connected to how you stand in the world, are connected to how you love in the world, how you love yourself, how you have communication, connected to how you speak in the world, connected to how you see in the world, connected to how you are as a divine incarnated creature. So Tantra looks at that holistic system and has a number of very ancient practices dating back to, they say that some of the oldest books are 15,000 years old, coming from the Himalaya, both Tibet and India, of this practice, because there's basically, without going too much into it, there's basically a very long time ago, depending on which scholars you speak to, the dates vary, there was a split between those seeking enlightenment. And one group said, no, you reach enlightenment by letting go of all of your things. So materialism is bad, you don't have anything, you reject all of it. And you find God through the absence of being attached to material things. And the other school went, no, fuck that. Go into the desire, embrace the desire, satiate and fill up with what you desire, so much so that you don't want it anymore. Satiate the desire and find that alignment through fulfillment. Find that alignment through joy, through connection, and realize I want to use the word false, but illusion is a better word. And realize the illusion of what the belief or the attachment is to that, whatever the desire is, whether it's a material thing or a relationship or drugs or sex or, I don't know, food, whatever. So Tantra is essentially different practices, meditations, and processes which enable you to align all of you, your sexuality, your sense of self, with your everyday life.
Very interesting. Yeah, I've been looking into a little bit. You actually told me, I think about a year ago, about trying to channel my sexuality a little bit. I've been doing quite a bit of it.
I was telling you about the microcosmic orbit,
Yeah.
which is where you use your breath to breathe your energy in a cycle in your system to help you move things, especially when you're having emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all interesting. So that's going to be at the Health and Wellness. What else have you not mentioned here?
Oh, I haven't talked about the cacao. Oh my goodness, the people I found for the cacao. Oh my god. So cacao, cocoa, chocolate. Yeah. So I found these amazing, super beautiful people who sourced their cacao from this organic farm in Chiapas that is over a quartz mine. So there's a cave of quartz crystals, yeah, because you know in Mexico you've seen these big selenite and quartz caves, like huge. They're like super magical. You like walk in and you're in like fairyland. And above it they have this organic farm that grows their cacao. So I mean, I want some of that. Like, it just sounds nice.
So you're just going to eat chocolate of this thing, or what,
well,
what's
so
the deal?
Basically, and this is encompassing all of the plant medicines that are coming, because we've got Ayahuasca and Kambo, which is actually an animal medicine, not a plant medicine. Kambo comes from the frog.
Right.
We've got DMT, but I think it's the natural form of that. We've got Iboga.
But not the full Iboga, right?
No,
it's going to be like a light.
It's a light version.
Yeah,
is what
because
they
you
said.
don't want to be doing the full Iboga, you know, without knowing what you're doing. That is crazy.
That's
I've done
nuts.
it.
And to do that at a conference.
No, yeah, forget about it. But I know you can take like small amounts and get like a good experience from it.
I've definitely had microdosed ceremonies before at a festival, because I did that.
Not surprised.
And what I found was that actually I took myself off, because it was so, like, my relationship with the plant and what the plant showed me was the beginning of me very much healing my inner masculine. So it was really profound for me, and the thought of doing any more than that microdose
Oh, I can tell you, it's
around all those people.
no, it's impossible. You would never do that.
That's nuts to me.
Yeah, no, it's
but
impossible.
to do a small amount and to get that glimpse into, wow, okay, so this is my next phase. This is the thing that I want to work with. So the way that I see, and I can only really talk about my perspective when it comes to this, is the way that I see plant and animal medicines is that they each have their own characteristic. So it's like if I wanted to know something about, I don't know, Tantra, I wouldn't come talk to you.
Yeah.
But if I wanted
place.
to know about crypto, you're the person to talk to, for example. Yeah, and vice versa. If you wanted to know about crypto, you wouldn't talk to me about that. But if you wanted to know about Tantra or essential oils or whatever, then I would be a good person to talk to. So it's the same thing with plant medicines. So each plant medicine has its own characteristic or chemical response in your body that brings up whatever you want to work on. So if it's like Iboga is called the father medicine. So it's a masculine medicine. Like San Pedro is a masculine medicine. It's a father medicine. So it helps with daddy issues, for example.
Really?
Ayahuasca is grandmother medicine. So it helps with mommy issues. And it goes beyond that because our psychology, our subconscious interweaving of belief systems goes very vast and deep and integrated with everything that we experience in life. And so when we're ready for those next steps to have greater clarifications and to look in the mirror of self, we can call our friends up and say, hey, I'm ready to go there. And that's when we ingest them. So from the perspective of the shaman or the person who is leading the ceremony, they're the ones with the phone number. And then everybody comes into the room and they're essentially calling that plant spirit, a sentient being, to come and help to facilitate you or whomever's healing. So cacao is the same. And cacao has this beautiful, heart-opening, childlike, playful energy.
Really?
Uh-huh. And you can use it for heart healing, for heart opening. It's amazing, actually, toward the end of grief rituals, because what it does is it helps to integrate the what's been let go of into your heart so that you can open and receive that which you've blocked out from the trauma you incurred.
Well, I've eaten chocolate before. I didn't feel that. So how is this different?
Have you had raw cacao powder?
No.
No.
So that's what it is. It's raw cacao powder.
So cacao is, well, so in the ceremony, they mix the raw cacao powder with almond milk and honey.
And you have these
Because
experiences.
raw cacao is like really bitter, like super bitter. You have to sweeten it or make it salty with like a mole.
So is it like a psychedelic experience, or is it more of...
No, it's feeling. So like,
Okay.
you know when you're on MDMA, how you don't really see stuff so much, but like everything feels really good. It's like that, but not so intense and without the gurning.
Huh. Interesting. All right, that's another one I'll probably try.
Definitely.
I had no idea, but I'd never even heard of it.
So it's like cacao has been co-opted, and Nestle has co-opted the cacao. They've turned it into these chocolate bars and taken away its essence. And
Oh, really?
the other thing of that is tobacco is a plant spirit. Chocolate is a plant spirit. It's like all of these things which we consume are connected to sentience, connected to awareness. And if somebody was constantly calling you up or knocking on your door and you open the door and then they like turn around and like do this, you'd be like, ah, puta. Like, what do you want? So when you're knocking on the door of a plant medicine, whether that's tobacco or cacao or alcohol, because like mezcal, tequila, the agave, it's like a super, like, he's...
It's not your typical alcohol, that's for sure.
No, it's medicine.
Huh.
I think, anyway.
Very
My
interesting.
experience with mezcal is that he's a medicine. And so it's like, well, this is an opportunity for people to come and experience what it's like to begin to talk to these things that we see as substances, but that I see as my friends.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so what will change in your life if every time you reach for a cigarette, even if you are planning on quitting soon, every time you reach for a cigarette, you said hello? and you just said, hey, and you set your intention. So you get that the reason why you smoke is because actually you get a bit stressed and you want to ground. And you just say, hey, thank you for helping me ground. I really appreciate you. And then you'll find that that craving, that thing that makes you want to grab that thing, it settles, because the plant can then say, oh, that's what you want. Here you go.
Interesting.
You know?
Very interesting. So, yeah, there's so many things you've got lined up here. What else haven't we talked about?
Oh, we haven't talked about the energetic aspects of things. So before we get to the anarchist wizard, I am friends with this really fantastic wizard named Dan Winter. And he's like a very tall white Yoda. And when you talk to him, he's like, oh, well, the negentropic properties of the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and he just goes into the whole science of how everything works. Well, him and some really awesome engineers, Roger Green and Paul Harris, got together. I think there's some other people too, so I apologize if I missed names. Got together and they created this plasma field generator, which essentially looks like a big light bulb. And you sit between these two light bulbs, but instead of it just emitting light and making light, it's actually creating plasma. Now, we create plasma, human beings, and so it's like, well, what's the difference between the plasma that you would create if you had zero trauma and the plasma that you would create, that energy field that you would create with trauma? And then how do you take your energy field and just simply remind it of how it is when it's perfected? And that's what the Theraphi does. That's what this plasma field generator does.
Wow. So many things I haven't even heard of.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And so it's like, it's most effective, especially with people who have suppressed fire energy. So like some people are really watery, and so like they're super flowy and like really fluid, and like typically you can't really count on them for shit because they're just like, oh yeah, I was gonna get to that, but they're super flowy, watery. And then you have people who are like really fiery, and they're like super passionate, and they're like this, and they're like ready, and they're going, they're go, go, go. There's a lot of fire. You have people who are really grounded, maybe a bit slower, more dependable in terms of like practical things. They're more earth people. And then you've got wind people who are constantly, chronically thinking about things always, super in their heads, and that's air. And that's really basic, super basic, understanding the analogy of elements to personalities. So anybody who has a lot of fire might start to feel a bit hot with the Theraphi because it basically unsticks you by activating your life force energy, which is your fire. Yeah. So the findings that they've had with the Theraphi have been remarkable. People with chronic arthritis healing within a couple of weeks. People with chronic migraines their whole life, having 2 treatments and never having another migraine. And it's been years. So it's like the Theraphi is really an interesting device, and not just because of its healing properties, but because of what it begins to open up in a person's mind. So if this is just a field of energy that impacts you like this, what else is possible with what we can't even see with our eyes? And then we bring in all of our sound and vibrational teachers, people who are talking about the healing science of sound and vibration. There's whole fields of study on this. If you Google cymatics, it begins with a C, you start looking at the shape of sound and how when you plug vibration into a plate of sand, form happens. You get shapes, even 3-dimensional shapes with certain vibrations or harmonic vibrations. And so we'll be going over what is all of this energy shit anyway. Because people look at us, we're like, oh yeah, the plasma field. And they're like, yeah, what's this bullshit? It's like, okay, no, well, let's explain it in a way that the beginner mind can understand. Because once you begin to open that door, as you well know, it's like a whole Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole that you just unfold more and more and more.
Yeah, no, I've seen that in the last couple of years. 3-4 years ago, I knew nothing about any of this stuff, and started with, I guess, ayahuasca, and then Iboga.
You like to start in the deep end.
Yeah, no, I do everything full, and I do it within seconds. Like, like as soon as someone tells me about something, like I've already ordered it on Amazon, or I've already I'm like, let's do it. Like, because I've been in the bad place for so long. I'm like, let's just go to these are all like I can tell they're working in various ways, and so I'm just like go, and yeah, I have no fear of trying the craziest thing ever. Like Iboga is to me one of the craziest things. It's the craziest thing I've ever done by far. I don't think I could ever do it again. It was that intense. It was, once it was over, I was like, thank God it's over. But I could tell that it really helped. It was actually amazing, but it was so hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're not done with your journeying yet, are you?
Oh, no, I think I'm just starting. Yeah. And, I've been going through so many changes myself, like crazy. Like, we don't even get into that on this episode, but like literally every week something, just epiphanies, and all of a sudden my body's doing stuff. Like I'm coming back into my body now.
Good.
Yeah, it's like wild and awesome. So like 4 years ago I'd be like, health and wellness summer, screw it, where's the parties at? Now I'm like, I think I want to go to most of these things if I can. I'm so busy, but what else haven't we talked about? Because
let's see. Well, we've got Cassie and Cindy and also Gina Carr, who are all talking about nutrition and diet and how to maintain yourself in a super healthy way. Kenny will also be talking about that, but he's coming from a perspective of health sovereignty. Now,
that's Kelly Parentano, who's a past Anarchast guest.
Yeah. He's fantastic. So it's like Gina will be talking about the raw food diet and how that can lead to a longer life. Now, there's a lot of diets. Some of them are raw, some of them are vegetarian, some of them are like only meat. And the thing is that there are a lot of people that will swear by whatever their diet is, whether they're fruitarian, vegan, pescatarian. There's some words in there that I don't even remember anymore, or whatever, and they will swear by it, and that's great for them. But the defining characteristic is it's not that my diet will work for you, but that you take responsibility for your health and you find out what diet, supplements, or whatever work for you, and that's the beginning premise of what health sovereignty is. What are the parts of you that you need to support so that if you become injured or unwell or something happens, you know how to take care of you and then can delegate that. So like, for example, when I had a scooter crash like a month ago, they were like, come to the hospital, you need stitches. And I was like, and I tested myself and I, went through the pain and like made sure that my elbow cap was there and that my patella was there and that there was nothing broken or like strongly damaged, and I assessed the gaping wound that it was, and I was like, no necesario, and I took myself home and I healed myself. Now, my friend came to help me and was watching me weeping, like changing my bandages and like treating it with iodine so that there was no way it could get infected, and I knew what to do. And it's really intense pouring things like iodine and apple cider vinegar and neem oil and all of these.
And open
oh my God! Oh, there will be no infection. Good for the skin. And then to get it to close, I used cayenne pepper.
Wow.
Now, cayenne pepper is super remarkable. Google it. It's incredible. Cayenne pepper at open wounds. You'll be like, whoa. Now, it is intense. And I am hardcore, but doing that with, like, because my knee, my hip, and my elbow were all hit, and my friend came on the second day after my accident and was just like, Avi, I'm helping you now. And so she was able to do it, and I was able to help instruct her, and we used our combined knowledge of how to take care of our body to heal naturally. And this, with this time next year, will be barely a discoloration. It won't even scar permanently. So that's what health sovereignty is. Not moving into fear because you're ill or injured, but knowing who you are and how to heal yourself.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, I know personally, just from doing fasting and stuff like that, like your body actually heals itself. This is one of the big secrets the entire pharmaceutical doctor hospital industry does not want you to know. And if you actually just stop eating for a while, then your body has time and it just goes and fixes everything. It's amazing. I've done so many fasts. I just did a 2-day one, very short. I was going to go longer, but it was just this week, and I was like, there's too much stuff going on.
We need your brain to work right now. If you could wait to fast until after the conference, I, as the production princess, would really appreciate that.
Well, normally when I fast, especially after you get past day 3 or 4, like you start, your brain's like fine, like it's flying. But getting through this first few days and all the stuff going on, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until afterwards. But I love it. I personally I still to this day intermittent fast every single day. I don't think I'll ever change that because I feel so much better when I do it. So I don't even eat. So I did eat earlier because this is 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm like, a couple hours ago I did eat, and it was a little earlier than normal because I had all these interviews and stuff. But yeah, I normally won't eat till 3 or 4, and I don't even think about it. You just get used to it and feel great. I'm doing so many things. So. Yeah, this health and wellness stuff, and I didn't even know about half the stuff you're even talking about, and there's something to all this stuff, absolutely, and I'm really glad we're doing it because the last couple of years, every time at the start of the conference, a bunch of people get sick, and it's like colds, it's not flus necessarily, because you can't really get the flu in this weather. This is something that a lot of people don't know.
Well, when you go into the really cold air conditioning spaces and then you like step out and it's like sweltering and then you're going back and forth.
And you just came off a flight where you're sitting in that crappy air in the airplane and you're probably dehydrated and you're stressed and you've just come from a place where you've got some different microbes in the air than the other guy who's like from a different continent who's sitting right beside you. So this actually, I think, where Nathan originally got the idea was he wanted to do something just so people could come a little earlier and get really healthy before the conference so they could enjoy the conference. And we always feel sad every year. There's always a couple people who are in their room for a couple of days.
Super sick, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like...
But, I did some research about Acapulco because I was like, why Acapulco? Why did Acapulco call us here? And actually, I found out that there's like the ancestors of the Olmecs lived here, and about 20 minutes from where we are here in these hills, there's like a super ancient, like 3000 BC site where they have these like equinox chambers inside a cave, and they have like 3 different chambers in there, and like little carved stone seats with solar calendars and jaguar heads and bat heads and a birthing chamber. So there's some really interesting ancestral magic here.
I've always sensed something special about this place.
Super special, and it's connected to the sun and the sun cults of Mexico.
Well, it's sunny every day, so that's easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I first came here, I was the first thing that I just noticed how free it was, and you've seen it. So you just get on, these buses. They're all private. They just fly by. You just put up your hand. They stop. Buenos dias. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy. They got music playing, and we want to get off. It's like, yeah, go ahead, get off. It's like no problem, and like everything's like that. And the more that I stayed here, though, the more I really recognized, well, of course, the natural beauty, but there's a feeling here. I don't even know how to describe it. And I'm sure there's other places. You were in Tulum. I'm sure there's other places that have these sort of things.
It's different here. This is the place of the sun. Tulum is the place of the moon.
Okay.
And actually, so Tulum, the main goddess is Ixchel, and she is the principal goddess of the Mayan, and she governs the moon cycles. The moon rises, the sun rises. That's where that is. Here, the sun is out every day, and it's like bright and it's heavy, and it's like, even though there's a lot built in Acapulco, there's still a sentience in the land here, and it's alive. Like, I've already had a sea eagle, a sea snake. I literally met a sea snake, and like it like was in front of me. I was like up to my knees, and
I've seen everything here. I've seen whales. I've seen
the whales. They're just like right there.
Yeah.
They're massive. They're so amazing.
All the birds.
It's amazing.
Everything's alive here.
Super alive here, and it speaks to you. If you speak back to it, like they can have full-on conversations with it, and it's not true everywhere you go.
Right.
Some places, it's like the spirit of the land is less alive.
Right.
But here it's very alive. And when you start to look at the principles of the sun, that's your daytime, that's your longevity, that's your life force, that's all of these joyful growing things. And if you look at the trend of Anarchapulco and what we stand for and what we've brought here, there's a direct correlation between who we are collectively, because all of your viewers are part of our, at least virtual community, and what the people who originally settled this land did, and depending on your perspectives of time, do.
Very interesting. I had no idea about that. You're giving me all this new information. I like to keep these videos a little shorter, so let's not go too much longer, but is there anything else that we haven't talked about
anybody
that are
else?
at the health and wellness? We should mention while you're thinking about that, that the ayahuasca ceremony and the DMT ceremony, which, do you remember which one's called which?
So the two snakes is the ayahuasca.
Okay.
And the jaguar is the DMT.
Okay.
And I believe, I haven't spoken to the shaman myself, but I believe that it's a naturally occurring DMT, like chaga. Not to be confused with the mushroom chaga. Chenga.
I know.
Chenga?
I don't know. But I know the shaman quite well. He was actually at my Iboga retreat when I did Iboga, and he's one of the most respected shamans in all of Mexico, and very special guy. Have you ever met him?
No, I haven't met him yet.
You can tell when you meet him. He's a very special guy, and he actually came after Anarchapulco like 2 years ago. Maybe it was last year. Maybe 2 years ago. I forgot all about it. He said, Jeff, after the conference, I'm going to come over and show you something. And I forgot all about it. So I'm sitting there in my house, typing away, knock, knock, knock. The dogs go crazy, as you know.
Yeah.
I come up, and it's him, and he's like, we go into my office, and he's like, yeah, so I'm here to do what I told you. And I was like, oh, what did you tell me? Sorry, I've been so busy. He's like, 5-EM-MEO DMT.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, what's that? And he told me, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. These things are so hard on me all the time. He says, this isn't that hard.
It's short anyway.
It's short. That's the part I liked. Iboga was 2 days of torture.
Yes.
This is like 15 minutes of, and actually I kind of enjoyed it, which I rarely enjoy.
Psychedelics?
Yeah. It's always, I don't know what kind of blocks I've got, but as soon as it hits in, I'm just in a room by myself, and it feels like forever just thinking about every stupid thing I did every minute of my life.
Wow.
And why, and it's like, oh, it's like, but the DMT, I was just like on the, it was the most psychedelic, well, actually Iboga was, I don't know if I ever told anyone exactly what happened on Iboga. It's nuts, but it's nuts. I was on the internet typing, writing a book, and I could go to like Wikipedia and look up stuff and fully read. I'd be like, oh, I should include this in my book. Well, who was that person? I'd look it up on Wikipedia. This is all happening in my head. And I actually, after a couple days of doing this, and I'm crazy at this point, I'm like, wait, how am I going to send this to myself after this is over? I'm like, I better send this right now. And I type in, I go to Gmail, and I'm like trying to input the book that I had written over the last day. And I go to hit send, and all of a sudden, it's like, and I was like, no. So anyway, that was a bit of what happened on Iboga, amongst a million other things. But the DMT, yeah, I kind of, I saw all kinds of stuff, all kinds of colors, which I don't normally see because I think I have some sort of block sort of stuff.
Because you're waking up your pineal gland still.
Maybe, yeah, I don't even know. But, yeah, so that might be what he's doing at the
That's what the jaguar,
ceremony.
So 5-EM, so that chemical substance can exist and does exist in like plants, in naturally occurring things, and you can synthetically create it as well.
And it's in your own brain, right?
Yes.
DMT is.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We do. We have DMT receptors in our
Apparently,
pineal.
you release it when you're born and when you die, apparently.
And at other times as well. I have regularly tripped throughout my entire life.
Really?
Without any substance.
Wow.
I do not need substances to trip.
Wow. So yeah, the first ayahuasca ceremony is sold out, but they put in another one after the event.
Yeah. So there's an ayahuasca ceremony on the 13th, and then there's the jaguar ceremony on the 14th in the afternoon. It's a much shorter ceremony, and I think traditionally, what they do is because it only lasts about 15 minutes, you do it 2 or 3 times. So the whole ceremony will last about 2, maybe 3 hours, whereas the ayahuasca ceremony is a 12-hour ceremony.
And it's sold out, as I mentioned, but there's one afterwards.
And then there's one on the 18th?
I'm not sure. You can look it up. And that's not included in the health and wellness thing, right?
No. So the majority of the workshops, like where you dive deep with the teachers, are for additional money, same as the ayahuasca and the Iboga, that's for additional money. There are a lot of classes and a couple of free workshops and a number of circles, so there's a lot of content that you get as a part of your ticket. But if you want to really dive in deep with our teachers, then you have to pay extra money. And some of them are very much worth the diving. There'll also be a number of these people, including Dayna Martin with the Radical Unschooling, and Adam Williams with the Avatar program, and Clive who is our anarchist wizard. Like, seriously, you go to this man's house and you open his food cabinets, and you just see like tinctures, essential oils, carrier oils, and then you get to like the more psychedelic type stuff. And all of these various people, not all of the health and wellness speakers are on here. I'd have to whip my laptop out to to get everybody. We still have the people from the Theraphi who haven't been put up yet, and we have a really special keynote speaker who's finishing us off on the 14th. And just, it's like the quality and the content of what you'll receive, it just keeps getting bigger. Like, I've had to like say, slow down, I'm sorry, we can't fit any more people in.
Wow, I had no idea. I'm just looking at the page right now. I had no idea you have all this stuff all lined up.
Including the Kambo. So like
Kambo
one of the Tantra workshops, the Kambo ceremony, and there was one more that I'm talking about, just moving them down toward the 18th, 19th, and 20th so that more people can actually experience what's going on in the health and wellness, because basically the structure is that in the mornings between 10 a.m. and 1:45 p.m. we've got talks. We've got so many people talking that not everybody gets a half an hour to speak, because like I've had to say no to people, and people who are already talking, it's like, well, we got to squeeze. Sharing means caring, just to get the information in there. And then when we break for lunch, we take the room and we break it down into 4 rooms, and those are our workshop rooms.
Oh, okay.
So we've got 4 workshop rooms a day, and still we have too many workshops. And some of those are free, and some of those are like with the ticket, and some of those you pay extra for. And we'll have ticket booths, so if you're there and you want to join a workshop, whether that's Kambo, Ayahuasca, Iboga, Tantra, and the Tantra is going to be super like, oh, like you know when you do the breath work and you get a bit lightheaded, yeah. Imagine going deeper into that and you begin to experience that trip without any substance, just using your breath.
And this is part of the Tantra thing?
That's part of the Tantra thing.
I've heard about this. I've never experienced it myself.
I could talk you through it. But I am not the Tantra teacher. I am the producer. So, you know.
Very interesting.
It's all available.
And so for the health and wellness thing, just the basic, what is the price? I don't see it on.
It go all the way to the top.
Oh, okay.
It is $195 for the 3 days.
Oh, wow. So that's February 12th to 14th.
Yeah.
You can just check it out. Just go to anarchapulco.com and just go scroll down to all the workshops, and you'll see the health and wellness retreat. And then in the health and wellness retreat at the bottom, you can see all the other things that are being offered for additional money if you want to pay extra for certain things. Just
above that, if you go up a little bit, you see, so there'll be classes that are free with Tantra, with acro yoga, sunrise yoga. All of this, it comes with your ticket, and that's not even everything. There's more than that. It's just what we're getting up, because our speakers and workshop leaders are so excited. They just keep throwing us with more, and we're like, whoa, like, okay, we'll do our best. Like, give me because it's not just the health and wellness, as you know very well. The main conference also has these phenomenal surprises that just keep popping up.
Yeah, this is going to be wild. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Anarchapulco itself is sold out now, but people are actually filling up. There's still people coming down anyway, because there's so many things before and after, and even in the evenings.
Yeah.
And we actually have a live stream. So you could actually come down, come to the health and wellness. Then when the conference is on, if you don't have a ticket, you could actually just buy the live stream, sit there with your iPad by the pool and watch some of the talks. And then when everyone comes out for lunch or dinner or parties at night, you just enjoy it. So.
Yeah, I just came from the hotel because we're planning this taco pool party.
Taco pool party.
Mm-hmm. So every year at Anarchapulco, we try to do this dinner where we all go out for dinner and have a meal together. And every year it's turned into a bit of a disaster. Quite frankly, last year we had 300 people at Shoe, and then another 100 people went over to the Italian restaurant around the corner, and it was still like, we're like looking at the bills at the end going, who paid for what? And it's like, I don't want to give it, it's just like, ugh. So this year I suggested we do something simple, like a taco pool. It's supposed to be simple. We're making it simple. And we chose tacos because tacos can cater to vegans, vegetarians, meat eaters, everybody. Yeah, anybody who, whatever their dietary requirement is, even if they're gluten-free, because maize is not gluten, they'll be able to eat. There'll be something for them to eat. And that's going to be 600 pesos for 2 hours open bar and tacos.
$30 basically for 2 hours open bar and tacos. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so...
It's great. We also have rap concerts, which I'm actually not going to...
Palladium. Yeah, what do you mean you're not going to go?
No, you didn't let me finish my sentence. You need to do some yoga or meditation or something. We've been approached just the other night. This is all just happening every day. This is what's going on with us. So if we hadn't gotten back to you, if you've emailed us or something, believe us, we're trying, but we're just
I try to
swamped.
get through messages every day.
So I was sitting there yesterday at night, and all of a sudden I get a message from one of my favorite rap groups from the 90s, and they're really good. Like, we're not talking about Criss Cross or,
I love Criss
No,
Cross.
nothing against Criss Cross. I mean, like, really, really good. Like, if you're into rap music, you're like, they're one of the best of all time. Mm-hmm. And bing, and he's like, hey, I really want to come perform at Anarchapulco. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, I want to learn about crypto anarchy. I was like, cool. And within an hour, we had the deal done. And so I'm actually not going to, this is where you cut me off. I'm actually not going to, I don't think I'm going to tell anyone who it is until Anarchapulco. I think I'm going to do a bit of a Steve Jobs in my speech. Uh-huh. It's like, and here's another thing that you didn't know about.
I think that people should just, how many people can the Palladium hold?
Good question. I think it can hold at least 1,000, so we should be okay.
We have 1,600 people coming.
It's huge, so I'm pretty sure and not everyone's going to go. We've had a rap concert
You want to be there. Okay, you want to be there. For the announcement, if you even like hip-hop in the tiniest bit, you want to be there. It's going to be so fantastic.
Not to mention, I'll be rapping Bitcoin all the way up, It's a big hit this year. But
Sorry.
I'm not supposed to laugh so hard.
Sorry.
But anyway.
I love you, Jeff.
I tried. But, and so many great rappers, actually. Free Knots are going to be there. I don't know if Rob Hustle's coming. I think Elias Clay is coming.
Wow.
She was here last year.
She was great.
Really amazing
Really great.
rapper, yeah. And I think some others as well. I've so many things going on.
Do we have dancers for that? I'm sorry to go into production, sorry.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
no, I don't think so. But,
Okay, well, we do.
All right, great. Mm-hmm. There you go. See, all stuff's happening. So many things going on, but we should kind of cut it
Wrap
short.
it up.
So we are getting into the evening here, and you've been working all day. I've been working all day.
I still have more work to do.
Yeah, me too. So just wanted to mention the health and wellness. We have not mentioned it yet. I think the blog, by the time this video is out, should be out.
Yep.
We didn't tell anyone about it. I think there's already, though, 150 some odd people signed up. So that's pretty good, considering we did not even mention it. That's pretty good.
I think we've done fantastic.
Next year, hopefully we'll mention it a little bit earlier.
Well, next year we definitely will, because I'm already speaking to people, lining them up, who are very, very well known in the health and wellness industry. and big name pools. So
yeah, I've heard some of the names. If you can get even a couple of those, it'll be pretty mind-blowing.
I've got
actually.
3 of the 5 I've named already.
Wow. So yeah, this thing's probably going to continue to grow, just like Anarchapulco is. Might become its own sort of thing, really.
Well, you know, festival.
Yeah, festival. That's, you know, Anarchapulco, I had no plan for it or anything. It sort of is just doing, it's anarchy. It's just, you want to do the health and wellness, it's going to become its own thing. And rap concerts is now like a big deal. And like it could be like, you know, everyone in Acapulco about who's coming here, right? So.
And we've got the banquet dinner with Ron Paul and all of our speakers.
I don't think we've even announced yet.
Oh, well, can we announce it now?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't even know.
So on the 16th, so the rap concert is on 15th. The banquet dinner with all of our speakers, with the feature speaker being Ron Paul, is on the 16th, and it's this beautiful outdoor area with like fairy lights everywhere. And that is, I think, $150 per plate, and you get to sit next to your favorite speaker, providing that you book your ticket and like let us know who you want to sit next to, because there's
we're gonna do that. That's a lot of
1 speaker per table,
okay.
and people can request.
Well, very cool.
Yeah, and I think that for the like Ron Paul table, the tickets go up.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely that, and then on the 17th.
That's Jordan Page concert, isn't it?
That's the Jordan Page concert in the same room that the main speakers are in, the main conference. And then the 18th is our taco pool party.
Okay.
And then the 19th is the wedding.
Right, which never mentioned here. So it's Nathan Freeman, the chief cat herder, your partner at Anarchapulco, and his wife Lisa. When they first got married, they said, because both their families are like rife with divorces, they're like, this probably isn't going to work, so let's not do a big wedding. But if we're still together in 10 years, let's do a real serious wedding. Well, they're going to do it on the...
Well, serious. It's a costume wedding.
Big,
I'll be
something.
an alicorn with light-up wings, hopefully.
And another surprise. There's so many surprises.
So many surprises.
There's going to be an after party at Nathan's wedding, and I'm pretty sure he's already got booked another world-famous sort of...
but we're keeping that a secret
again.
As well. But it's pretty fucking fantastic.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to say, actually.
Like, I don't...
All this stuff is just happening.
I say they're so amazing.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think there's stuff after the conference too. Yeah, there's Mark Passio on the 20th. With if you've never been to any of his seminars, like workshops, it's always mind-blowing.
Yeah, way down the rabbit hole. Yep.
Adam Kokesh is doing a bunch of stuff. I'm not even sure. He's doing like a homesteading thing and something else.
He's canceled a couple of it.
Yeah,
so I'd have
changing.
to go and look because it's changed a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then you've got lots of workshops that are happening after the main conference, and then of course we've got the Anarchapulco or something like that. Yeah,
we don't have that. That's run by some other people, but being very anarchist, some other anarchist people. It's actually Lily Devine who was on. I went to their house and interviewed them. They were refugees from the U.S., wanted by the police for curing cancer with cannabis. And they decided to do something a little less formal. I don't know much about it.
I don't know anything.
But that's afterwards. So again, if you can't really get into the conference itself, just get the live stream if you want. But you can still come down and do all of these things. There's going to be events before and after. Yeah. It really lasts like a month now, really. That's really...
Basically, we've created our own festival, but instead of having to camp, we are in 5-star luxury hotels. And
which costs $110 a night.
Yeah.
Too. It's like the cost down here is so cheap.
It is. It's fantastic.
Oh, Adam, I don't know if he's still doing it, but it looks like he's doing a nonviolent communication workshop, which is really great. If you haven't seen Adam Kokesh's just YouTube, Adam Kokesh Nonviolent Communication, and the way he talked down some guy who was going to kill him at a bar for disrespecting the military was really quite amazing. And to learn those sort of skills are great. Of course, Larkin Rose before the conference. This is going to happen during the health and wellness.
13th and 14th. That's going to be in the Diamante room, I believe.
Yeah, that's Candles in the Dark. He's going to be doing that. Yeah. Let's quickly see if there's anything else.
And then Dayna's running a day where she's going to take whoever wants to join her, including families around Acapulco, the Free Your Family camp on the 19th and 20th.
Yeah, a lot of people bring kids down.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of kids.
And that would be the perfect event for people like that.
Yeah, my kids are skiing. Their dad booked a skiing holiday over the conference, but will be joining us afterwards.
Great. And Luke Radowski changed Media University for the 4th year in a row on February 19th. If you want to learn how to be an independent journalist from one of the best independent journalists out there. Oh, I didn't mention the Dollar Vigilante Summit, which is on the 19th. And so I haven't announced this yet.
This is the announcement.
We've got so many great speakers, and actually I haven't announced all the speakers yet because they just keep coming in. I just keep getting in contact with all these amazing people. And I'm like, okay, this is too much. Now we have to have a dinner after the conference just to fit everyone in. It's similar sort of situation to you. And so that'll happen around the time of Nathan's wedding. But you can just always go to our dinner and then go to the after party of Nathan's wedding, whatever. But there's tons and tons and tons of stuff. So
tons and tons.
I feel exhausted already just talking about it.
I feel like jacked. Like I need to like put my laptop on the desk and like start working again. Like there's so much to do.
Yeah, there is. So let's wrap this up. Is there anything that we didn't mention? Anything you just wanted to let people know? Anything just personal? Anything? If not, no problem.
Well, I think on a personal note, I feel super grateful to be part of the production team and to be invited to bring my personal magic and mix with all of your personal magics and yes, I just said magics and like there's something truly extraordinary that I'm watching unfold, and it's like we've been gathering now, this is our 4th year, and we've been talking about all of our different specialties, what we know can help to make a difference in the world. And it feels like this year we're actually bringing it together and creating this month-long set of experiences which are actually run like our own society. And for me to be a part of that in a production capacity and being able to create that space for all of you guys to come.
Hey, Polo. How did you get in? It's our new pug.
It's so lovely. I love the pug.
Yes, Polo.
I totally lost my train of thought.
You're grateful
I'm super
that we're
grateful.
building all this together,
Yeah.
pulling it all together.
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. I'm grateful too.
I just want pug cuddles.
One of the coolest things about this conference since the very beginning, is it's sort of half run by the people who come to the conference as well. And the amount of people who volunteer, just send in an email, like, I want to if you guys need any help, like, it's the most helpful conference of all time,
It's true. It's true.
And everyone who works with Anarchapulco is sort of like past guests or past attendees who have just sort of gotten more involved. So it's really amazing. So it's coming up
Really soon.
I'm a little overwhelmed by it all, but I'm okay. I'm actually doing all my health stuff, getting ready for it. I got my ozone machine coming in about 10 days.
Wow.
I'm going to be ozoning myself every day. I'm going completely dry for the conference.
Thank you.
There's too much. I don't want to be getting all lost and stumbly, and I want to do a lot of this health and wellness stuff. So, the Cacao sounds really interesting.
Well, we start February 12th at 10 a.m. with, we'll have a Cacao as part of our opening ceremony. We've invited all of the speakers and workshop people to come, so everybody will introduce themselves, so you'll get, whomever is there on that first day will get to fully understand the genius that's in that room and how to participate. So come play with us.
Sounds good. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share, just let people know, because I know a lot of people are like, well, it's sold out, I'm not going to go, or whatever.
No, come.
Yeah, still come down. And if not, come definitely next year. And
Because you can still participate in the workshops.
the parties.
The parties.
By the pool.
Yeah.
Half the conference really is just
hanging out
at the beach and the pool in the evenings.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard the camera beep. We've gone too long.
Yay!
Polo's here. Polo wants us to finish. Polo wants kisses. So yeah, that's it. There's nothing else to say. I think we've said it all.
I think we've said it all, and I'm sure we'll think of more to say.
I'm sure at some point, but
Yeah.
that's enough for now.
Yeah.
So that's it for Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. Peace, love, and anarchy.
In a world where Antifa riots in the city streets, cops rage out of control, and the leader of the free world is a fat-ass casino owner, one event stands alone to make anarchy great again.
I actually love humanity. That is why I'm an anarchist.
Backwards in the building like we the ceiling, we illin'. No matter who find it appealing, I'm here and I got a feeling that we'll be dealing a lot of pain with a penicillin. Get drilled in your head that we are monsters, and yeah, we come from the slums, and for months we've been pumped, but for once I am now comfortable. I want to grow, I want some more success, and I want to know that greatness can't be rushed, can't be less, so face the fuss. Feel free to hate on us, we lace them up. Dudes, we done paid them up. Keep snakes away from us and safe from us, you might wanna be. Remember when clowns used to make fun of me, and now they wanna be me, see me and they run at me. I'm gonna be the greatest, yeah, I wanna be, but I am not the one to be the fakest. For the sake of being played, I'm here like I never left. Said to hell, nah, cause I can't just fail, so just prepare your ears, it'll get for real. Okay, from here, we will never take the sale, it's grind time. My mind and my thoughts, my highs and my faults, my wins and my loss. When will I fall off? It's a chance for me. You are now listening to Veracity. Yeah.
Fuck the media, fuck the banks, fuck drone strikes, fuck tanks, fuck hunger, fuck war, fuck ignoring of the poor, fuck the left, fuck the right, fuck the government. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.